be very useful. Today, I'd like to make my presentation titled Future Prospects of Kinanthropometry in Thailand. This is the contents of today's presentation. First of all, I'd like to briefly explain the difference between the term anthropometry and kinanthropometry. The second is to briefly introduce the previous research conducted in Thailand, and then I'd like to make some sense of anthropometric research.
อะไรมาแล้วเหรอ
Lastly,
มันสองชาแม่เลยอดกินนะ
มาดูเลยเดี๋ยวพ่ออันนี้เหรอ
about anthropometry.
เดี๋ยวแม่ส่งให้
มันทำให้เราทำลายสถิติอะไรอยู่ห้อง1ห้อง3
แม่กดอันนี้นะเข้าประชุมเลือกประชุมทุกห้องแล้วมันก็จะมีลิสต์ขึ้นมาให้เลือกเข้ากดฟุ้งแล้วมันก็จะกดแค่การมิทติ้งแล้วเข้าแล้ว
Expressed their interest to depict how a day look like. This sometimes in the cave, and sometimes sculptured rocks. An interest on human body has actually met with usability of human body as a tool. And across many countries and societies, human body has been commonly used as the length, measurements of length. And many countries still use the unit which derive from the length of specific body parts, such as digits, cubit, inches, and feet. Countries like Japan and Thailand, we also have traditional units which actually derive from length of elbow or length of feet.
ให้ดังขึ้นนะครับ
Together with interest on human body, actually understanding human body from scientific perspective is very important in our society. Evidence-based scientific data is essential for efficient and sustainable society. Data can be physical aspects or physiological aspects and even genetic information. Understanding of these variables it can be utilized for to flourish living and also for the society. Anthropometry is originally derived from the term Greek term anthropos and metron. This direct meaning is measurement of man. As this name indicates, anthropometry is a measurement of size, shape, and proportion. So by utilizing anthropometry, we can obtain quite decent information about human body size, human proportion, and also subcutaneous fat distribution. We use anthropometry so often because it is cost-effective, portable, simple to conduct, and non-invasive. So by carrying equipment in these bags shown in slides, we can travel anywhere. At their home, or even at the train field. Usefulness of anthropometry is also because the results which obtained from it is one of the reasons. The anthropometry anthropometry can use not only direct measurements from the direct measurements such as skin folds or circumference, but also we can calculate a number of indices such as waist to hip ratio, body mass index or BMI, or even we can estimate inside of our body, such as body composition, like fat mass or fat-free mass, or body density. Therefore, anthropometry can be utilized in quite diverse disciplines. It has been used in the field of anthropology, economics, of course, health and sports sciences, but also in other fields like psychology. And these studies that try to understand human growth, exercise, performance, or even nutritional status based on anthropometry, known as Kinanthropometry. The difference between anthropometry and Kinanthropometry is that while anthropometry is simply a technique how to measure, Kinanthropometry is a kind of application of anthropometry and how we compare them and interpret them and make more benefits out from it. So now, I'd like to share some of my findings about Kinanthropometry or anthropometric research conducted in Thailand. The classic reports I found is we'll go back to 1960s. This is some figure from Nutrition survey of the Kingdom of Thailand. This report is a comprehensive assessment conducted by Thai and American team. They actually conducted for over 6,500 participants from general public and military personnel, and they obtained nutritional status of Thai population at that time. The report also compared the data set from Americans and Vietnamese and see how much difference in the nutritional status, including height and weight. A recent study conducted by Jordan, they compared or they reported secular changes in growth in Thai population. From these results, the Thai people increased the height over the last few decades. And they also showed that there was a significant difference between people who born in urban area and those born in rural area. And those who actually living in urban area increase their height much greater compared to those living in rural area. This is another report, a classic report, which is known as Anthropometric Survey of Royal Thai Armed Forces. This report is more focused from ergonomic perspectives, measured visual science on total of close to 3,000 military personnel. Compared to a recent study that reported Royal Thai armed personnel, we know that the Thai population has increased their body size, such as height and weight, and also their circumferences, such as waist and hip. Although a recent study actually included greater older individuals, but this results indicates that the significant differences or significant changes in physique made by Royal Thai males. I have also found some classic study that compared skin folds differences between Thai and Japanese adult males. Interestingly, this study reported that Japanese adults had much significantly greater skin folds compared to Thai males. This may be a reflection of differences in nutritional status or their lifestyles. While skin fold technique is a good indication of nutritional status, a vast majority of nutritional assessments reported in Thai population, they only use stature and body mass, and they determine body mass index or BMI, and to estimate prevalence of stunting, wasting, overweight, and obesity. And comparing past reports, all these studies reported that while Thai population has improved nutritional status and decreased a prevalence of or a proportion of individuals with underweight or stunting or wasting, more increase in overweight and obesity is very noticeable. And there is also a report which examined the nutritional status of refugees at the Thailand and Myanmar border. This may be not really focused on purely Thai population, but this is another example that conducted and reported Thai within Thai. This study, they reported that chronic stunting is high among children at Mona camps. But it is important to understand that these studies only use body mass and stature and calculated body mass index. But body mass index cannot be used as a reflection of body composition. In fact, while many studies used BMI cutoff points, which were proposed from Caucasian population, many studies reported that Asians are likely to have a greater percentage body fat than Caucasians, and therefore we should not use or we should not rely too much based upon BMI cutoff points using population-based cutoff points. Therefore, it is important to examine usefulness of another anthropometric indices such as waist circumference, waist to height ratio, or skin folds. And then I found few studies that examined correlations between total body fat or fat mass percentage to these anthropometric indices. And these are the examples from young children and middle-aged to elderlies. And a good thing or usefulness of anthropometry is sometimes because of its ability to estimate body composition. Compared to more accurate and reliable body composition assessment methods, anthropometry is convenient and using derived equations to estimate body composition, such as percentage body fat. However, anthropometry is not really a method to estimate body composition. So we have to propose prediction equations using body composition technique as a reference method. Here I found one study which proposed percentage body fat prediction equation for Thai population in rural area. From this study, gender-specific prediction equations were proposed. However, it is important to understand that prediction equations are population-specific. Therefore, it is only applicable to the group of similar physical and demographic characteristics. In this case, because the prediction equation was derived from people living in the rural area, we should not use these equations to predict percentage body fat living in percentage body fat of Thai population living in urban area. Also, we have to be cautious about what equipment they use or what protocol they use. And because of a number of considerations we have to make, it is more advisable to use the actual values that measured, such as sum of skin folds, instead of too much reliance on prediction equations available. Here, I like to make some to share some concerns which I come across from reviewing these past anthropometric studies in Thailand. I have concerns. One is there is no standardized protocol that can be used or that has been used in past studies. As a result, we cannot compare the results reported in one study to the other studies. Another concern is that there is no reported technical error of measurements in past studies. As a result, we do not know how accurate the measurement was conducted and how reliable these reported values are. Because there are a number of protocols available, we have to be certain which protocol each study have used. Depending on the protocol, the location of anatomical landmarks, or definitions of measurement sites, and equipment to be used are all different. And when we are conducting anthropometry, it is important that the measurer have a good technical skills as well as good understanding on statistics and knowledge. As a result, we have to all measurers have to have a good training before they undergo research. I'd like to make some introduction on what we call as the International Standard Protocol for Health and Sports Sciences. This is known as ISAK protocol, proposed by the International Society for the Advancement of Kinanthropometry. Currently, many countries and societies actually have anthropometrists accredited by ISAK, and they are very actively conducting research using standardized protocol. And I'm very happy to find out that currently there are 3 ISAK level 1 anthropometrists in Thailand. So I am hoping that they have conducted a number of research that is based on the protocol which we can share and we can compare the data between lastly, I'd like to share some ideas about the future prospects of Kinanthropometry in Thailand. From the review I made, or literature review I made, I think these 4 fields, there is some gaps in knowledge. One is growth and development or healthy aging. 2 is in the field of sports sciences. 3 is the psychology. And lastly is precision medicine or precision nutrition or precision public health. In the field of growth and development, I think there is some opportunities to explore dual-hat topics using comprehensive anthropometric measurements. This may be on children or pregnant women or infants. And also there is a possibility of conducting research in relation to adiposity and early maturation. And in the field of sports sciences, it would be ideal if there will be more research conducted in Thailand focusing on elite athletes. And this can be very valuable in terms of understanding their physique in relation to their sports performance or even identification of talented young athletes. And this is a field of body image or something related to psychology. If there is a possibility to compare the difference between perceived physique and measured physique, we can understand a distortion of body image. By obtaining this information, we may be able to develop an educational program to improve their body image, especially young children or young females who may tend to have a strong desire for fitness or strong body dissatisfaction. And also, there is a possibility of incorporating advanced technologies such as 3D body scanning. There have been a number of research examining usefulness of 3D body scanning technique to estimate surface area and body compositions, but there's almost no study that utilize these techniques in Thailand. There may be some potential to explore reliability or accuracy of these technologies using comprehensive traditional anthropometric techniques for Thai population. And last topic is that future research opportunities in relation to precision medicine or precision nutrition, or perhaps precision public health. These fields are related to, these fields are to understand individual health status with consideration of their lifestyles or genetic polymorphisms and even diversity of gut microbiomes. But if there is research conducted to incorporate comprehensive anthropometric measurements to assess health status or health risks, there may be a good starting point to health status of Thai population. So today, what I have introduced here was only a snapshot of anthropometric research and future prospects or future potential or opportunities of applying anthropometry in Thailand. Because anthropometry is very simple, convenient, and cost-effective techniques, this can be utilized more often. However, existing research in Thailand reported changes in the body size and nutritional status and potential indices to spiritual risks. But this previous research lacks knowledge or lacks information about its protocols and the techniques or skill levels of measurer. Therefore, it is important that future research should be standardized protocol to measure anthropometry, and also a measurer should have a good training session beforehand so that all measured reported values are more reliable and very accurate. And I hope that more research using anthropometry to be conducted in Thailand, and all these data to be shared or compared across different studies or even with other countries so that it can be utilized more efficiently or effectively to improve health status of Thai population. This concludes my presentation, and thank you again for inviting me to this presentation, this conference. I hope this conference to be successful. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for